All right. Yeah, everything is going now. I think we're good. I should be able to be heard. You guys should be able to be heard.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
I apologize for us being late. I'm going to move my camera here for a second. I don't know if you guys can see right here. I bought a new computer. So I actually have like a full-on desktop. I have an Echo.
I can hear an echo, Josh.
I don't know where that's coming from.
Do you have something else running simultaneously?
Oh, wait a second. I think I know what that is.
Are you also on the computer?
That might be
Make me think that I'm screwing more stuff up.
That was me.
Thanks.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense then.
So hopefully now that we've got Jonathan's echo situation under control here, everything should run smoothly from here out. I don't think anything else is broken, but who knows because this is all new. How about you? How have you guys been?
Pretty good.
Nothing new. Same old, same old.
What eye am I staring at here, Corey?
This is Megatron.
It's Barney.
It's not Barney.
He's purple dinosaur, got some green spots. That's just like the evolution of Barney. That's like his final evolution.
In his mouth. He's not Barney. He's ready to burn down some maximums.
I said someone was gonna make a joke, a Barney joke, and I'm glad it was not me.
I don't know, that thing in his throat. There's like this Reddit that I follow that's like, don't stick your dick in it or something like that. I feel like, man. What? Yeah, I follow a subreddit called Don't Stick Your Dick in It. And I see that little tube coming out of his throat. And I don't know, maybe if I was a male, I would be tempted to do a quick post on that subreddit.
The deep-throated dinosaur? I mean, that's...
But we're not here to talk about that, though. I don't know how this got so off the rails. We're here to talk about children's programming, which is where Barney started from.
All right, that's an image I will never get out of my brain.
Why isn't he on screen no more? Put him on screen. Open up his mouth for the rest of the stream.
So your fault.
There's only one hole a dick
Edward Sanchez says like he still has his Barney tapes, so I guess if you're interested in that kind of thing.
Barney was like wholesome content back in the day. It was a little after my time of like watching PBS programs, but my sister watched that and I was like, man, it's so wholesome.
I remember. Do you guys remember a video game called Doom?
Yes, I never played it, but yes, I heard of it.
It's a 3D like first person shooter game where like you walk around, you see the gun in front of you, and you just like shoot.
Like Counter-Strike
and monsters and stuff.
First person shooter.
Yeah.
They made a movie. They made a movie off of it with The Rock
and Carl Urban.
Carl Urban was in that too.
Yeah. But there was a Barney mod for that people made for their PC. So like you went through the dungeon and you would hear like "I love you" coming from around the corner.
No.
And then you would walk around the corner and Barney would be there and you'd have to murder Barney.
That is just messed up.
Oh man, that is messed up because like dinosaurs are already extinct. What if he was the last existing dinosaur and you just like murdered that guy?
Well, I think Denver is the last dinosaur.
I'm
glad.
I don't get that reference.
I'm glad two of you guys did.
And I never even watched that show, but I was like,
at least you knew it. You knew it. What about dinosaurs? Do you guys know that one?
I don't know what that is. I know Dino Nuggets. I eat those.
Yeah, I know Dino Nuggets. So this week we are talking about episodes 20 through 22 of Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue.
Interesting batch of episodes, I must say.
Yeah, there were. I'm actually interested in getting your opinions on the third episode.
It was like Elle. I know. I want Elle to take over for the Chad episode.
Yeah. But let's start with the first episode for today, which is episode number 20, the Omega Project, the introduction of the Omega Rangers, or not Omega Rangers, the Omega Zords.
The Omega Megazord.
The Omega Megazord. Like,
there's too many Omegas in Power Rangers.
There's too many Megas in the Megazord already. Like, when you repeat words twice.
Blackwing, Corey, do you guys want to explain to us what the Omega Megazord is?
I'll take over because, funny enough, this was actually the first Megazord I've ever seen in Lightspeed Rescue because I thought this was like
Matthew, I hate you. His last message was the fact that I made that reference about Denver, the last dinosaur means that I am the last dinosaur. I mean, you can't see the grays coming out my beard now, so maybe.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Let's get our summary. What we got going on?
Yeah. So basically, the summary of this episode is that a meteor is coming, crashing down to Earth. Olympius and Queen Banshira came up with this plan, and she's like, if this plan succeeds, Olympius will be my second command, and everybody's gonna have to follow Olympius. And this would be like, oh, this is the part where, to the point where like Olympius starts getting special privileges because now his mother is here, so he gets special treatment and all that. So like everybody has to listen to what my son says. Diabolico's not here anymore. Olympius has the star power. Listen to my son. If you don't, you're gonna have to get up with me. I'm like, oh, the queen is.
I like how he'll be all like, mother,
like
menacing voice, mother, what?
Like mother. But yeah, so we have Joel and his little cousin Simon, who kind of shows Joel his new telescope that allows him to see into space, and he sees that the asteroid's coming to Earth. So he scans the morpher. Joel doesn't know exactly what that was, but Joel comes into Lightspeed with flowers trying to give to Miss Fairweather. Of course, another failed attempt for the brother to try to get the woman.
He's trying though. I gotta give him props. Like that guy, he's doing the best he can. I feel like he hasn't had a proper opportunity to ask her out yet, so I'm glad that he's like sticking with it.
I applaud his efforts.
Yeah, definitely.
It's an inspiration to all his brothers out there who need love. I appreciate.
And the thing is, like, I don't think he's crossing the boundaries too.
No, it's true.
Because she hasn't really said no, because he's never really had the proper opportunity to ask her either. Right. Like she knows what he wants to ask, and she's like waiting for it, and every single time he's been foiled.
Him along.
Yes.
Not necessarily.
Not stringing him along, but she's keeping him on the hook.
She's playing the game. She's playing the game. They definitely both are.
Entertained. She's leaving breadcrumbs, and she's not leading him on because that's the worst feeling ever. So she's just keeping him.
She seems a little interested, like it's like, man, that guy tries so hard. Hopefully one day he'll get to shoot his shot for real, and kind of waiting for that moment.
Yep. So Simon calls Joel on his morpher because he hacked the frequency to contact him, and he gives Joel the notes and compares the notes and like, oh, okay, I gotta take you to Lightspeed. And he tries to tell Joel and Miss Fairweather what's going on, so he goes into her lab, hacks into the equipment to stop whatever Miss Fairweather was doing, and be like, guys, I got something to show you, but you're not listening. Here's the meteor that's coming down to crash to Earth, and I have the notes right here. So now pretty much the Rangers go out, they try to use the Max Solar Zord. That fails because Olympius blocks it off because the Max Solar Zord is powered by solar power. So now it's time to bring in the Omega Megazord. This time, I found this very confusing to me as a kid, but now as I look at it now, it's very easy to comprehend, because if you look how the Rail Rescue carries like the Rescue Zords and everything, it also carries the Omega Zords, because you see the Omega Zords are strictly just ships. So the countdown sequence, you see how the Rail Rescue changes into a spaceship, and the Max Solar Zord is like the head ship, so that way they could blast off into space. So I'm just like, oh, so giving them giving them ranges, from Earth and space. I wonder if they were able to contact Andros while they were up there, but probably not.
It's not the crossover episode yet. We only get that when there's about to be a crossover episode.
Yeah. But it would have been nice. But yeah, so they formed the Omega Crawler, because this Megazord has two formations, a crawler mode and, of course, a Megazord mode. So they drop explosives so that way they could detonate it, and then right before they're about to take off, the asteroid is alive. It holds them, captive. So they transform into the Omega Megazord, and they destroy the detonators, like right there on the asteroid. And I just love how it kind of seems very drastic, because the way how it happens, everybody is like viewing it and they think they're all dead. It's just that long pause of seeing them I don't think they made it. And then you just hear that buzzing frequency of Carter saying like Captain, can you read me? Like, is anybody there? It's like one of those moments. It's one of those movie moments where, you know, the explosion happens and you feel like, did they make it? Like, and then you just, hey guys, you guys got any leftover pizza when we come back? And he's like, he's alive. It's one of those moments. It's like one of those moments. So that's how the episode ends. The Rangers come back for a hero's welcome. I love this ending bit. Joel asks Simon, like, hey, could you ask Miss Fairweather out on a date? I'm like, he gives him his hat, and he goes up to her. Actually, you can see him like, hey, Miss Fairweather, can you go on a date with me? And she's like, and Joel's like, so what'd she say? She said yes. Awesome. I'll just like, not you. She's going on a date with me. We're going to the planetarium. I'm like, ouch.
Yo, Joel was not
he did exactly what Joel asked him to do.
Exactly. Like, you told me to ask her out on a date, and I did.
But also, Miss Fairweather, you trying to go to jail? Like, that kid is like 11, 12 maximum? Yo, we can't call that a date. Maybe a play date? No, that makes it weird.
That sounds even weirder.
That's even worse. It's way worse. No.
But it was a good Joel episode. Like, I thought it was pretty good considering I don't like the children actors, and those of you who have been following along with Retro Ranger for any amount of time kind of know this. But he redeemed himself.
You just don't like kids, though, right?
Generally.
That you actually said that you don't like child actors. I've totally forgot. When was the first time you even said that? Because I totally forgot.
I don't know. It's come up multiple times. I feel like every time Alpha 5 was interacting with them, definitely with Justin in Turbo. That was not my favorite. Anything in Star Wars, super bad. But I don't know. His reading in the beginning was just so monotone where he was like, oh no, a meteor. I need to talk to someone. And I was just like, really? You couldn't find a kid with a little more spunk? Or attitude, or,
I feel like with a lot of like these kid actors that they find for these type of shows, it's one or the other. Either it's really dry or it's way over the top dramatic.
Like the original Harry Potter movie where they're like, oh my god, let me act with my eyebrows and like.
Yeah, you're not, like Josh said, you're not gonna get like that good spot on acting in the middle. You're either gonna get two options: over the top or deadpan acting.
Yeah, you know, like these aren't the Olsen twins that we're talking about here.
It's hard being a kid, being on camera, being told, you know, like you don't have a lot of experience seeing normal movie actors, I guess, when you're a kid. But yeah. Oh shoot! Too many chords.
Oh boy.
Too many chords. One day I'm gonna get into the wire. Yeah, I'm gonna get into the wireless phone game one day.
I was like, I don't appreciate you disrespecting me as being the youngest Power Ranger in history.
Yeah, so speaking about that, Corey and I were talking about this on Twitter a little while ago because someone that I follow had mentioned something about wanting to see like Bulk and Skull's kids as like Rangers, just for like a different series.
Why?
But so here's my question, because the conversation that we were having was a little bit different. So what series had the oldest set of Power Rangers? Like in universe, not like, oh well, this guy's 65 million years old because he was a caveman, but like he's 20 years old or 25 years old.
Oh, you mean
whatever.
the actors?
Not necessarily the actors, but just their.
Oh,
characters.
you talk about
in
show. In character.
Yeah. Ooh, like, because even if they were frozen for 15 million years, if they were frozen at 16, they're still only 16.
No, because they're in the future now.
Yeah, like they lived for that many. They've been alive for that many years. You know,
everything stopped, so he's still older.
Mentally, he's still 16 though.
Yeah, it's like Winter Soldier. He's like 109, but he still looks like he's 35. You know what I mean?
I'll have to say, as far as like oldest Rangers, it'll either have to be either RPM, Time Force, and Wild Force and Lightspeed Rescue. Those 4 seasons. Oh wait, and Overdrive. Those 5, I would say, have to be.
Well, Overdrive was a mix because they had teenagers and adults in it.
I wouldn't say they were.
It was a nice mix.
Okay. But yeah, as far as
like, this one I feel like is the oldest so far, right? Like
they're like adults, like 20, 23, 24, 25.
Yeah, they seem like they're like mid-20s because like they're either like military or firefighter. I mean,
they're like in their careers. They're like established.
Yeah, like they just started.
I would. Yeah, definitely. I could say Lightspeed is definitely one of the teams that has that mid-20s age range.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of like it. I don't think it makes a big difference of age in Power Rangers. I still feel like the content still appeals to, what is it, like 7 to 10?
Like, one thing that bothers me, I understand, like, kids wanting to sell to kids, so you make a kid a superhero. But if you just think about teenagers, and then you give them the powers of a Power Ranger, it's just like, no, you don't do that. Some teenagers are fine, but I would, my 18-year-old sister, I would not make her a Power Ranger.
Yeah. I feel like that you're already like super angsty. You're going through a lot of changes, like mentally developing between like your teen and your adult years. Like I feel like the ages of like, I would say 15 to 23 is not ideal to give someone superpowers.
They were teenagers with attitude.
But that's every teenager, man. If you didn't have a little attitude when a teenager, you didn't grow up.
It's the SpiderMan complex, if I'll say. It's the SpiderMan complex.
I see that. Yeah.
I guess. I don't understand the fascination of making children superheroes in media. I don't. Like, when I was young, I looked at adults, and I want to be like that when I grow up.
I mean, it's wish fulfillment.
Yeah.
Like Star Kid.
I
always hated that stuff growing up. I didn't like kids superheroes.
Never heard of that.
Outside of Power Rangers.
I've never heard of that, but okay.
All right, so I can see in the chat that some of these guys are leaving their scores here, so if the rest of you guys would like to do that, I will go through the list of errors and notes that we have here. Let's see, notes or errors, which one do you guys want first?
Well, I kind of already mentioned the one note, because...
Yeah.
Because like one of the notes said that Simon is Joel's little cousin, so
yeah, we were confused of like how is that relation set up, but so that's one of. Let's go through with the notes. Let's go through some notes.
So that was one. Joel has a little cousin who is about as smart as Miss Fairweather. We don't know that.
Hey, kids are smart.
He might be smarter.
He's hacking the device that she created for Power Rangers. I feel like that is a huge breach in security.
He modified a lens on his own with no like equipment.
Child prodigies.
Yeah, like I would
YouTube
say
wasn't even around back then, so how do you do it?
Right? Or 3D printers didn't exist back then.
Yeah, he's smart. He's a smart cookie.
Let's see. This episode features no monsters made by the demons.
Oh yes, that is true.
Yeah, I mean, the meteor was it was alive.
Yeah. But he wasn't made by the demons. He was just.
Isn't Queen Banshura the queen of the demons?
But did she make the asteroid, or did she just collect it? I thought she just saw it and like flying towards her.
No, it was like a demon asteroid. It was alive, not alive like I'm gonna get you, Rangers, but it was like it can move.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna say that one was a rock though, because Power Rangers is pretty good about showing like sentient beings versus not like. It didn't have like a creature come out of it, or it wasn't
Right.
So I don't think it was alive in the context of most of our Power Ranger villains or opponents.
See, this note is just kind of weird, but whatever. The color of the asteroid resembles Dark Spectre's hide.
That's not a note. That's relevant.
That's not a note. That ain't relevant. That's not a note. That's just
a hey, look at this coincidence.
We need to cut out these crappy notes before we go on air in the future. Like, let's not even waste time. We start late like every week. We don't want to waste time with these crappy notes.
The color of the sky is the same color of the sky in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
That is accurate.
And the color of the sky is like the same as like the Blue Ranger sometimes, which is where he yields his powers from. We're gonna have an alternative note section by the time we're done with this.
Here, this is one that I did notice I was planning to bring up, but it is here in the errors, so I'll go ahead and mention it here. Olympius mispronounced the Lightspeed Solar Zord as the Lightspeed Solar Zoid.
It could be an accent. Maybe he just got an accent. He's from a different part of the galaxy,
It was a typo. It was a typo. It was a misinterpreted, typo. Stuff like that happens.
Zoidberg. The Lightspeed Solar Zoidberg.
Oh God.
Several shots from GoGoFive footage shows the Rangers with the yet-to-be-introduced thermoblasters on their left hips.
Oh, really? Did it?
I was kind of wondering what those things were.
I wasn't paying attention.
I didn't see it.
The button for the Omega Megazord is labeled V Mars Transform. I'm assuming that's a reference to the Sentai.
Yeah, because that particular Megazord is called V Mars Robo and GoGoFive.
Victory Mars.
And when the Rangers see Queen Banshira, Chad says we can't move before the asteroid came to life and grab the Megazord. So a bit of a continuity error there, where something happened before it actually happens.
Some of these errors are pretty minimal. You don't really need to bring them up.
I kind of just like going through them because like some of them are just like so dumb.
Yeah, talking about I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That last note, I'm like, oh, the meteor resembles Dark Spectre's. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, it's like, okay.
I'm like, do we need to know?
Was it sent by Dark Spectre? What, does it even have a relation? Otherwise, like that's just irrelevant
Dark
information. Like if
dead at this point,
right?
You're right. Yeah, I think so.
They've been dead a whole 2 years at this point.
Yeah, a whole 2 years dead. I'm like, what is?
I don't know.
Now, if you said this meteor was like the spirit of Dark Spectre,
that created lore. That's expanded on lore.
It's like, oh, really? All right. So in the chat, we got Metal Orion Cluster giving the episode a 5. Donnie Pearson giving it a 10 out of 10.
Nice.
Let's see. Matthew Thompson chiming in on our conversation about the Age of Rangers says that some of the Dino Charge Rangers were a little bit older too, mainly the first purple. And Afro Fox says that is asking, isn't the Ninja Storm cast in universe kind of like adults also?
Nah, they're still teenagers.
No, they're a teen. They're still in school, even though they never went to school. They went to ninja school.
They went to ninja school, not school.
They had like vocational like training school.
Oh yeah, that was the thing. When I was in high school, we had a thing. I don't know if this is still a thing, but we were able to go to what we called Votech, which was half the day we would leave and basically work in a like an internship doing something that we were interested in. So like
that sounds nice.
People who were interested in like cars could go work at like a mechanic shop or something. Jared Hodges gives the episode a 5, Larry Newbill gives it a 5, and Thomas Franco gives it a 5. Elle, what about you?
I don't know, talking about it, I like it a lot more. I think I was just biased. My own prejudice against children kind of darkened the experience for me on my first watch through. But after talking about it here, I'm actually going to bump it up a score. I am going to give it a 4. To me, it didn't have the typical villain conflict that we normally see. They get big, robot comes in, they fight, explosion, they win. It was a different setup, and it was a little more suspenseful of like, did they make it off the meteor? Because they exploded the meteor while they were standing on it. I was like, realistically, pretty sure they're all going to die. But, it's Power Rangers, and they made it out. But I did question it for a quick second. So,
Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck weren't there to help.
Oh my God!
That was the age of asteroid movies back then.
Yeah.
The age of asteroid's going to destroy the Earth.
Deep Impact.
I was a little bit paranoid about that, but back in the day.
Armageddon, yeah. So, Corey, what about you? What's your score?
4.5.
Nice.
Nothing will ever reach a 5 with this series.
Blackman, Jonathan.
4.5.
I like that honesty, though.
Because, like Elle said, this episode was very suspenseful. It was like a very heavy life and death situation. It's like that. This is a one-way trip. There's no going back kind of episode. And we really don't get episodes like this in Power Rangers, especially today. Definitely not today, but I'm gonna
break tradition here. I'm gonna give this one a 5 just because of the kid.
No, you're not.
This kid.
Get out of here.
This kid just like pulled one over on Joel at the end of the episode. Like just for that
was a smooth move.
That was game right there. I got it.
Homie got.
All right. He does though. Like he did ask him was old. And he scored a date with like super hot, scientists. I think they're gonna make some good chemistry together. Then she's gonna go to jail. She's definitely gonna go to jail after that.
The fact that they're gonna make good chemistry together because I'm like, oh wait, she's a scientist. Chemistry, science.
The next episode, she's like behind bars. It's like, oh dang.
Jezre's joined us as well, and he gives this episode a 4. So yeah, so it looks like the consensus is that this was a pretty solid episode. So let us move on to episode 21, which was called something else. The Fifth Crystal.
The Kelsey kind of focus episode for this one.
So what do you guys think about the use of, like, I hate to kind of put it this way, but old people? Like whenever we see like older
senior citizens, man,
is when they're always like this.
Yeah,
they're either shrewd or they're just like, "Whoa,
goofy.
I'm super grandma."
And she was both.
Yeah. She wasn't wearing overalls though. She didn't have her kooky little outfit in the beginning, wearing overalls, driving cars, and doing that. But you know,
I'm trying to think. Didn't Aisha? Yes, there was an episode with Aisha's grandmother, and she wasn't even like this at all. She was
the soulful grandmother. You know?
Yeah, she was.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yep, the soulful grandma.
So this episode was kind of like more or less straightforward.
Yeah.
Corey, since Jonathan did the last one, you want to give us a rundown of this one?
In GoGoFive, this was a Blue Ranger Center episode.
Yep.
Oh.
But yeah, they used like none of the footage from that outside of Vypra coming down and taking the crystal. But
this episode was very original.
I did like that Mission Impossible type thing that was going on there.
Yeah, that was all from Japan. But it was pretty straightforward. They were looking for these crystals. Why? I don't know. Why the Ranger colors?
Right? Okay, that was my question too. Where'd the crystals come from, and why does her grandma have one of the crystals? Was it like a inheritance of like my grandparents were rich and like?
Don and Fury suggests that maybe they were created by the Morphing Masters.
Okay, but like how she get this crystal? Because she was like, my grandparents gave it to my parents, and my parents gave it to me, and I'm just like, how long have you had these magical crystals, and are you just like, what do you use it for? Like when the butler comes out with it on a tray and opens it, like
it's a very expensive family heirloom and just holds a lot of.
I feel like they. Like, I don't know, I feel like it's some, like, colonizer thing where it's like she definitely stole that. Like, her ancestor stole that from someone important. And then, like, this is how they've had their millions. Because in my head this whole time, I was kind of thinking, like, Kelsey doesn't have a job. You know, like, she has money to go rock climbing. That stuff is not cheap. To do all these athletic, like, exports kind of things. And I'm like, where do you get the money to do this? Well, you should be poor. Yeah, it's from Grandma Warbucks over there. The hoarding some magical crystal that can go into the laser.
How many do we have? We have like 3, right?
Rich Rangers?
Yeah. RPO.
Yellow
Ranger. And then we have Overdrive Red and his daddy, right?
Yeah. SPD Pink. SPD Pink. She's rich too.
Oh, I forgot. And then Wes in Time Force.
Oh my gosh, man! Why do you got so many? Okay, we could say they're rich, but they don't act rich. That's the bottom line. They don't act.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we got a lot of poor people too.
Yeah.
Like Tommy didn't even have any parents for so long, and like didn't have anywhere to live. It looked like
really.
Yeah.
And that Leo had to like sneak onto that ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, his brother was working for him, so. But anyway, long story short, Kelsey's grandmother had this rock, and they went to go borrow it, and she's like, please bring it back. And, she's just really shrewd and Republican, probably, and...
I had to bring politics into this.
I mean, like, objectively, though, she probably was.
And then she lost it. She lost the crystal, and then she got real butthurt. And then it wasn't the fact that the Power Rangers are here trying to do a good thing. It's like, you lost my priceless heirloom, granddaughter. I'm upset with you.
With all fairness, she did ask to borrow it. And if someone asked to borrow one of my things and they lost it, I'd be pretty mad too. And Kelsey didn't even transform. She didn't even want to be a ranger to try and protect it. She was like, I'll just use my human fighting skills and my roller skates.
Here's my problem. I actually have a problem with this whole plan that they had set up, though.
Wait! Before you go, I just wanted to mention my favorite scene is that Kelsey's crying. I loved her crying.
You love seeing a ranger cry, you heartless son of a gun.
I hope someone takes that out of context too. Out of everything, can we clip that and put that at the intro of the next episode?
This is not Twitch where we could clip it. I wish. But
oh damn!
All right, go ahead. I'm done.
Yeah, my problem with this whole plan was that they actually had the actual crystal, and they didn't. Of course, I know they didn't expect the monster to like. First of all, the monster jumped into the armored car. The agents in the back, all terrified, not moving a muscle, gets absorbed by the monster, tricks the Rangers, takes the crystals, and leaves.
Yeah.
What I would have done, because he said we're gonna try to trick Vypra. I'm like, why not just create a fake one?
Yeah, that's what I thought was happening.
Yeah, it didn't look like anything special.
Exactly. Like, you guys pretty much just gave the crystal to them in the first place. Like,
and that's what he said too. It's like, they gave it to me. Like, it was super easy to get.
I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking back, they should have did what Sonic and his friends do. Just make a fake Chaos Emerald, give it to Eggman, and keep the regular one, so that way no one knows. Just make a fake crystal. That's what they should have done.
That's why her grandma was mad. It's like, man, it shouldn't have been that hard. Why you done messed up?
You know what? She has the right to be mad. That was a shit prank, Kelsey. I can't believe you came up with a stupid plan and lost my shit. You're a Power Ranger? I can't believe it.
Because everyone knows her Power Rangers, like, use some of your powers. Protect that thing. It was so important.
It didn't even morph until, like, the end of the battle.
Yeah, like, I don't know. But Grandma comes back on, like, roller skates, like, kicking some butt, got her little, like, pads on her elbows and stuff.
Extreme.
That was cool. Yeah. Crazy grandma came to save the day because her granddaughter done got that crystal stolen, so someone had to step up and help the Power Rangers out.
Because they couldn't figure it out.
I mean, she was pretty good on those rollerblades.
She was.
Did.
And I like how Carter gave her the real talk and like, you may have all this, but you got nothing in here. I was like, ooh.
Well, she proved you wrong, Carter. She came and decided that her granddaughter is the most important thing she has out of nowhere. Like, completely
wrong. She needed somebody to tell her to give her a reality check. So do
you think she was genuine, or do you feel like, oh man, I look bad in front of the Power Rangers? I'm gonna just try to do this, to let them think that I'm a nice old granny. But the moment they come over asking for a cookie, she's like, get out of here. Like, has a shotgun and like, get off my porch.
She has the butler do that.
The butler would do that, yeah.
She'd be like, I apologize for my actions. I shouldn't have acted this way. Will you give us cookies? Don't push it.
Yeah. That would have been a good ending. The butler comes and just, like, throws them out of the house.
All right, so let's go to the chat for scores, and I will go through the notes. There are no errors listed here. Some of these notes are actually kind of interesting this time. There, at the very end of the episode, we saw that that it was dedicated to the memory of Bob Manahan, and he was the second person to voice Zordon. He had passed away from a heart aneurysm on June 30th in 2000. So that's where that came from. Kelsey's grandmother's mansion was the same mansion that the Zeo Power Rangers used for the murder mystery night in A Mystery to Me, in that episode of Power Rangers Zeo. Shannon Wells, this one is kind of interesting because we haven't gotten to Time Force yet. Shannon Wells is credited as Grandma Winslow in the Time Force episode Time for Lightspeed, but she didn't actually appear in that episode.
No, she didn't.
So they don't know here whether she actually appeared in a scene that was removed or whether it was just like an error when they were putting the credits together. We already talked about the Starlight Crystals and having absolutely no idea really what those are. Carter tells Kelsey that her grandmother looks just like her. This is because they used Sasha Williams to take the pictures of her younger.
Her Photoshop pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we got there. Going to the chat for scores. We got Matthew Thompson. Looks like he's the only one that's given us a score so far. 5 out of 5. And
maybe more people will.
Thomas Franco is heading out, so he is letting us know that he is giving both episodes 21 and 22 a 5.
Nice.
And he says, Blackwing, he'll see you tomorrow for the Retro Sentai show.
Okay.
Elle, let's start with you this time. What do you give this episode?
I don't know. It was just kind of kooky in all the wrong ways, in my opinion. Like, why is Kelsey a Power Ranger? What skills does she bring? I don't know. Every time we have, like, I want to root for her because, like, I love rock climbing, and I was like, man, she's gonna be awesome. I feel like every centered episode of her, I'm just like, why are you here? What do you do?
I like
are you
Kelsey as a Power Ranger? But it's just like, what does she
bring?
Yeah, what does she bring? You get what I mean? I don't mind her being a ranger, but it's just like, I'm extreme sports girl. And
I guess she brings that energetic personality because there's like that one energetic person on the team. So I guess
if she was low key the science girl,
I mean, Joel is kind of there though too.
Yeah, that's what
Joel.
I mean, like,
no, Joel's not energetic. Joel is the smooth criminal kind of guy.
He's just like a womanizer. He's out. Yeah. I guess so. I mean, it seems cool. I don't know. I want to just give this a 3. It was not a standout in my opinion. Like another grandma episode. All right.
I gave it a 3.5. That's all right. That's as high as I'll go for this one.
And you're usually pretty generous too.
Yeah, I think
this gets a 1.
Oh wow!
A 1?
What was that because? Was that because they made you feel bad because you can't rollerblade?
Oh. Hey, I can rollerblade, all right? I can skate. It's just been a while.
I have not roller skated in almost 10 years. Good God.
All right,
we should go to a roller rink.
I'm gonna give you a really short story, and then I'll give you my score about this. When I was in my early 20s, a buddy of mine wanted to go rollerblading on like a trail, like basically like how there's trails like all around LA where you can go jog and do whatever. So we obviously we had the same thing in Florida. So he wanted to go rollerblading. I had never been on rollerblades before in my life. I was not really good at roller skating, but I was like, sure, whatever. So I went up to the sporting goods store. I bought like a $200 pair of rollerblades because I was like, what? If I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna get good ones, and I'm gonna do it right. I spent the night like figuring it out. Ended up being able to get my balance. I thought I was doing okay. Next day we go out to the trail, start rollerblading, and we hit an overpass where the trail goes over a street. So I'm like, I can't climb this thing on rollerblades. So I'm like on the rail, like pulling myself up to one side.
Oh
like
my
a rope,
God!
Like, okay, all
right. Cross it, get to the other side, and I'm like, this is a little steep. I don't want to just go down this just on my own.
Yeah,
so do the same thing going down on the other side, holding onto the railing. I get about halfway down, and I'm like, all right, I think I'm good. I can handle it from here. So I let go, and I skate down, and I make it to the bottom, and I'm doing okay. I start like wobbling a little bit, but I managed to get my balance. But then I hit like a crack in the asphalt.
The
yeah, and just completely lose my balance. Start shifting back and forth from one foot to the other foot, but I'm also gaining speed because I'm still like going down an incline. And eventually I get to the point where I just can't keep my balance anymore, and I end up heading off the trail into like this big grassy area that's off to the right. Fly up into the air as I go off of it, come crashing down, and your first instinct is to put your hands down.
Yep.
So I put my hands down instead of like ducking over, and my right arm came down and landed on the concrete, like the curb, and I felt and I heard the bone snap. Ooh. And like I'm just like sitting there like, all right, nope, I'm done. So my buddy ended up having to go get the car, help me get the skates off, and drive me to the emergency room so I could get a cast. I gave him the rollerblades.
Ow!
Yeah. I was like, I'm good. Here you go. Yeah,
that sounds like a whole extreme episode synopsis, like that one character that can't skate, and then he actually ends up doing his best. And then sooner or later he goes down a wrong course, goes up in the air, and then crashes. That sounds exactly.
Well, if this was
like
Power Rangers, I would have accidentally defeated the villain by losing my balance. Like I would have just like flown up in the air and done like some kind of like weird spin kick as I was falling into the grass and just like knock them over.
Like some Bulk and Skull shit.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
That's definitely what it sounds like. Like very slapstick, very cartoon moment.
Ouch.
So what is your score, Josh? What is your score for
my
this
score?
episode?
for both my landing on that day and this episode, I give it a 2.5.
That's pretty good. That's pretty generous. You probably should pick up rollerblading again based off of that score.
You know, I want to get a bike. I think I'll do okay on a bike.
I never rollerbladed in my life. I could skate, but I never rollerbladed. I don't think I'm ready. I still don't think I'm ready for it.
You got to do it now while you're young. You get old like me. I'm at the point where you just break a hip.
Before your knees give out.
Oh my gosh.
So looks like that is it for the scores in the chat. Oh wait, no, we have one more from Jared Hodges. He gives it a 4 for the funny moment with the grandma and Kelsey. So moving on to the Chosen Path, episode 22.
What's going on in this episode, guys? What's going on?
I don't think I understand anything about this episode. Like all of it was just like so bizarre to me.
Yeah.
I recorded my favorite line. Hold on.
All right, what's your favorite line? Let's hear it.
Can you hear it?
Did you know your friend could have been a world-class
karate master?
He became a Power Ranger. What a waste.
What? I was like, yeah, like he wants to fight, right? So like, does the teacher just want him to be like a professional like competitor instead of actually saving lives and doing good as a Power Ranger? Like, what kind of ignorant statement is that?
What he taught him.
Yeah, I was really confused first where he came from because like they were in the middle of nowhere, and then like was he just like following them around so he could tell him that he was disappointed that he became a Power Ranger?
Yeah, and it's like he
Chad,
wanted,
I'm gonna tell him.
right? And like Chad in the beginning, in the whole intro, forever is like riding a fucking whale. Excuse my language, riding a whale at SeaWorld. And I thought he like talked to fish, but also he's like a karate master. Like, I don't know. Is this just stereotyping like Asian people? Like, what's going on? Where's the whales?
Well, see, that was my first thing, was like seeing how they had his sensei dress up, and the mustache and the goatee
and the fake, and at the end the accent is gone.
Yeah,
like his like last line, he's just speaking regular English, like no accent, no like affliction to like the way he talks at all. And I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah,
this is such a bizarre.
I was like,
in this day and age, this wouldn't fly.
Yeah, no, this was like what, 2000, 2001, somewhere around there. So I was like, it still really wasn't okay back then, but I kind of get it. But now, like viewing it through to like today's more socially aware lens, like, oh no.
And we've had other like, you know, martial arts trainers come on, like, I don't know, I feel like Trini had one where it's teaching her different styles and all this. And
Ninja Scientist Grandpa.
Yeah, and I just feel like...
we got another grandparent show up in MMPR? Oh, shoot.
But yeah, like, all this stuff is so weird. I don't know, it's a weird episode. I don't really understand, like, what the main conflict was. It was just like, he can do both. Can he not?
Yeah, I don't know. And so I want to show you guys something else here. Like, do any of you watch Invincible?
I still have not watched it yet.
Have you read the comics?
I have not read the comics yet either.
Okay, so this isn't going to spoil anything.
Okay, just
it's a still frame from the last episode, even though this character showed up in a previous one. Let me push this over. Okay, so in Invincible, there's an alien character that shows up, and he looks very similar-ish, or at least I thought similar to Cycloptor. Looking at him again, not necessarily so much, because Cycloptor has like bony protrusions coming out and like a horn.
Oh, he kind of does.
But yeah, but my first thing was like, I was like, huh.
What's that show with DJ Lance? He wears like horns.
Yo Gabba Gabba?
I feel like one of the creatures kind of looks like that. He got one eye and he kind of looks like a little spiky dog toy.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might be
I think I know what you're talking about.
No, you're correct. You are correct. You are absolutely correct.
Like that's who it kind of reminded me of. Like Cyclops orange spiky creature. I never really watched that show, but it came up in the zeitgeist of like my existence. So
I've seen like some of those weird like Yo Gabba Gabba mashup videos that people have done. Like there was one that like you guys know the Nickelodeon show something kitchen. I can't remember what it was called, but there was a song in it, Cooking by the Book.
Never heard of it. Nope.
So someone mashed it up with Lil Jon. I'll send it to you guys off the air because it's a little.
God.
And if you're curious about that, follow us on Twitter. We're gonna have Josh post that there.
Oh yeah,
so make sure to give us a follow.
Yeah, I will tag you guys on Twitter, and I will post it on there so you can see it. It's just there's actually another video that I'll post for you guys too that I found just like on a Facebook memory, and it goes into my common complaint with Power Rangers, how it's like these guys are taking forever to morph. Couldn't the bad guy just like shoot them?
Yeah.
I think I probably know what you're talking about. Is it a stint from regular show? Because I know they made a joke about that in regular show.
No. It's a live action thing.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember what it's called, but I'll find it. I'll post both of those on Twitter. But they're funny. Anyway, back to this episode. Elle, you want to give us kind of like a breakdown of it?
I don't even know what's going on. To be honest, like I don't know if I can give you like this guy shows up out of nowhere. He's disappointed in him, and like Chad's like, I don't know, I don't want to be a disappointment. Like it's his teacher, and then his teacher ends up teaching the weird dog toy villain because he was like, please, I want to learn from like the master. Like teaches the villain, and then gets double crossed because
got played.
I don't want to play like the look at him, but like he was obviously a villain that like just came out of space to destroy everyone. Did you think he was like my karate powers, which is like not even karate, like he was doing like some kung fu, like different martial arts there.
It had to be like some Aikido or something.
Yeah, and like he was so inspired by the way that I fight. I turned him to good. I'm just gonna teach him. Chad comes up like, why are you teaching the monster? He was like, I don't know, because like you left me as a student and I'm all petty. So I'm going to teach some monsters to kick your butt. Like he's going to fight you. And then before the battle, he's like, I taught this monster everything I know. And I know you got to go save the city and all the innocent people, but let's have a fight just to prove it. I was like, he's got to go save people. What are you doing?
I really wasn't paying attention to that part.
What? I don't know.
Was this a Yellow Ranger episode?
Yes.
GoGoFive?
Yeah,
yes. We have 2 swap episodes.
Wow.
So how does the Go-Go version of this go? Because man, this was a weird episode. It was set up. The story didn't make sense.
Well, there was like really no story here. It was legit just Chad, I'm really disappointed in you. No, that was it.
It's a lot more silly in GoGoFive. Way more silly.
Okay.
And then he got his power from milk or something.
Yes, Corey. The milk.
Yeah.
It was like a got milk commercial.
It's so ridiculous. That episode, I'm just like, oh, this is the episode that people like to reference with this Yellow Ranger. Gosh. Good gosh. The milk.
Caught that.
Wait, no, it helps your bones.
It does. It's to fight osteoporosis.
I will say though, this battle, because I remember when I was
dope.
Yes, I remember when I was watching Lightspeed Rescue completely for the first time. Chad was one of those Rangers I just didn't really feel like he wasn't that great until like this episode, because I keep underestimating him as a martial artist, even though he doesn't get a lot of say in things. But when it comes to arts and everything, he does deliver. So I can definitely say, for the martial art aspect of Chad, this is a good one. And
that wasn't even his character. That's not even part of his character development until this specific episode. Had they ever mentioned that he was like a championship like martial artist or karate master?
There was the episode where was it Brian? Was that the
dude?
His boyfriend,
Deadpool 2
Brian.
director.
Yeah. We knew from that episode that he could also fight. So it's not completely out of the blue. It's just
that's true.
But
why is he a whale trainer? Why not make him like a martial artist and like
because
that is
his
his
water. Water.
Flow with the water. Be one with the waves.
His job needs to match his Zord.
Well, what if he taught dolphins how to fight?
Like they just come out of the water and they're just like punching people.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
Chad is the Aquaman for Power Rangers.
They really should have just kept their occupations in GoGoFive, because this it doesn't, or even just have the fireman and the paramedic and then choose people from within Lightspeed to be Rangers. You get what I mean?
Or he should have been like a lifeguard or something. Like that could have been water, and he could have. I don't know.
No, see, look at that, a lifeguard.
That's like water, and then he could still kind of have time, like when he's not at the beach during the day to train martial arts. But like, I don't know. I mean, I'm all for representation.
Like I should have been a lifeguard.
Like I love Asian actors and I like seeing them represented, but man, it'd be nice to like have one without an accent and not be a martial artist. But yeah, when it came out, like if that came out today, I think we'd be having a different conversation. Yeah. But I gotta give it not an excuse, but an understanding of how this came out, So it's fine. It was fun. It was silly, but like from the beginning, I'm like, what are you doing here? Why are you talking to the one Asian Power Ranger? Like this ain't good.
Oh boy.
There's no like real notes or errors for this episode. Like this is all like stupid stuff.
Everything was an error. What do you mean?
I'm just gonna run through these just so we can hear how stupid they are.
All right.
Notes. It's learned in this episode how Chad learned martial arts. Yes, it was. This is the first time the Omega Zord fights a monster. This is only the second time that we've seen it. So that is kind of a legit note, but if you've been watching the series, that's also fairly obvious. Error, it has Olympius's voice sounds different in this episode.
Yes, it did.
Okay.
That happens.
That's not an error if they changed like the voice actor.
It's not the voice actor, it's like whatever vocoder or whatever they put over his voice this throughout the series. Yeah.
I feel like that's happened before in the past too. I'm kind of used to that from Power Rangers at this point.
Different too,
yeah, like he's got a cold. I think.
If you watch like any if you watch the first episode of The Simpsons and then watch like an episode now or Family Guy or any of that stuff, all the characters sounded different like originally than they like that just kind of happens.
Yeah.
Then the last error that they have here, the second and last, is that Japanese writing can be seen on a banner during the first fight with Cycloptor. We know that all the fight footage is all from the Sentai, so it's not really an error. It's just something that you
that's the clip they decided to use. It's fine. It's fine.
And we still don't know where Mariner Bay is. Like maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. It replaced San Diego.
Yeah. Sure.
And really close to Egypt.
Yeah.
Dude, we're not doing this again. We're not doing this again, all right? I said we're not doing this again. Stop.
All right. I don't know. Those of you in the chat, also give us your ratings for this episode. I'm kind of curious what y'all think. I don't know. I mean, kind of stereotypes aside, I think it was like pretty like middle of the road for Power Rangers. Like, cool. I'm glad you got another focus episode. Where's the whales though? I want to see this fool riding a whale. Oh. So until that happens, I'm gonna give it a 2. I was gonna give it a 3, but now I'm a little bitter. Where I'm like, man, where's his like aquatic training?
Corey?
I'm gonna give it a 2 because I like to see Chad fight.
Okay. Otherwise, it would have been what, a -5.
I wouldn't have rated it at all. I'm like, this is bullshit. 0.
Jonathan?
Okay, after hearing all these racial stereotypes about this episode, because I've only watched this episode like twice. This makes like the third time I've watched this, so I'm just like, oh shoot.
The fighting is good though. You can't.
The fighting is good.
That.
Yeah, I can't deny that. The fighting was great, especially the way how Chad was fighting the monster by himself and the way he was holding the V with the stance. I loved that. That was excellent. Yeah. But overall, I don't know what to say. I'll just
a little problematic, but
I'll put a N/A for my rating for this episode.
All right. I mean, it was fun. It was a fun episode.
Yeah, I have no words. I have no words.
All right.
I'm gonna give it a 3.
All right.
Like
the fighting was good for the action for Power Rangers. It was above average. It's just had some problematic representation.
Yeah, the action and the fights were good. And it like the Karate Kid scene with the monster was really funny. Like I'm not gonna lie, I was laughing at that pretty good. So yeah. So this was it was. Yeah, it was like there was the storyline. There was like nothing there. Like I don't even know what the story was trying to say. Like I don't know what the moral of this was supposed to be. So I don't know. At least with most episodes, we kind of get like a lesson that we learned at the end.
Yeah.
Like let your proteges pursue whatever endeavors they want. And support them.
Sure.
And don't be a dick. I don't know.
That's right on the nose.
But it's weird that the lesson is for... When you try to control
people, they turn to villains.
Yeah.
And don't teach villains, like how to do martial arts and like kick the good guy's butt.
Use common sense. Don't teach monsters.
But
maybe ask some questions before you accept them as your student.
One of the notes that wasn't listed in the notes that probably should have been was that his sensei was a really good teacher because apparently he was able to teach the monster everything he knew in like an hour and a half.
That's true. Maybe that's why Chad didn't want to like do karate. He was like, "Man, I learned everything from you in the first 2 hours. I need to go find some new sensei."
His sensei, he was only his sensei for a week. He got mad. Man, that's a whole new level of sad that we can end on here.
See, in the chat, the only score that we have comes from Jared Hodges, and he gives it a 4. But he also adds that the fight between Chad and Cyclopter was awesome before he morphed. And yeah, I would agree with that. It was good. It was solid.
Especially when he was like, "You just don't learn." It's like it was like, man, like here we go again. Like here we go. It's like that GTA 5 gif that was like, shit, here we go again. It's like, I'm gonna have to kick your ass again.
Yeah.
So that is it for the 3 episodes that we are covering today. Next week we will be back with episodes 23 through 24. It's yesterday again, as time runs out, and in the freeze zone. I don't know anything about those.
Actually, I do.
Should I be looking forward to these episodes?
Is one like a Groundhog Day episode?
Yeah, one is a Groundhog Day episode.
Okay, the yesterday again, that definitely sounds like that.
Yeah, I don't like that episode.
I'll send you something for that episode because I won't be around.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to be around for that one either. I'm going to be out of town. Shoot.
All right, cool. Well,
man, life is hard when you're popular.
I will see if maybe Heirloom can join us. I know he was talking about some of this stuff. But yeah, so those are our episodes for next week. Coming up here in about 15 minutes, provided everything continues to work for me after we end this stream. Jamie and I will be live talking about Star Trek Enterprise, the episode Box Sola, which was actually pretty fun. And then tomorrow we'll be helping out to Twitch playing some Star Trek Online, and then at 8 o'clock ish, you can join the Illuminerdi Wrestling Order for everything about this week in wrestling. And Blackwing, what do you guys have coming up on the Retro Sentai stream tomorrow?
Continuing through Chojin Sentai Jetman, we're slowly about approaching the halfway mark of the show, so we are things are starting to heat up in Jetman. So if you are interested in watching Jetman with us, you can watch it on you can download Tubi TV from Google Play Store, or at the Apple Store, wherever you get your apps from. And of course, you can also watch it on Shout Factory TV for free. Of course, there'll be ads, but that's what
it's
we
free.
get. That's what you get with free
complain.
stuff. Yeah. It's free, but you got to take it with the ads. But it is what it is. But yeah, that's what we got coming up for the Retro Sentai wrap up tomorrow.
Great. So that will do it for us for today. And I guess we will see you guys next week. Some of you guys next week. We'll see. I won't see you two next week. But
you won't see me next week.
What is next week? Is next week's Mother's Day?
Next Sunday is Mother's Day.
So
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I can be here next Saturday either, but we will discuss that behind the scenes.
We'll figure that out off stream. Later, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Take care.